Happy holidays, everybody. Kevin Barheit here. Thanks for tuning in. Happy holidays to everyone. I know for me and for a lot of us, the holidays can be a little bit rough, especially in early recovery. But I wanted to spend time with my family. I just didn't know how to cope with all the anxiety that came along with being clean, being sober, grappling with all the emotions that I had and all the fears I had because I really hadn't worked through the steps very well at that point. I did have some of the 5 pillars in place. I was going to meetings on a regular basis. I didn't have a strong relationship with a sponsor, but I did have some people in my life that I could rely on. But I did get some suggestions and some tips from people, and that really made all the difference in the world. And the biggest one that I got was have a plan, and especially have an exit strategy. I did want to spend time with my family, and I wanted to be there for Thanksgiving or any of the other holidays. But as I made my plan to be there on that given day, I also knew that I wanted to be able to leave at a certain time, to go to a meeting and take care of myself. One of the things I did, I don't know if someone suggested it to me or if I came up with it myself, was I parked my car, I backed into the parking spot. Sometimes I would even park across the street and make sure that I parked parallel parked so that there was no way that someone could box me in and I could get out. And I know that was a little bit awkward. It was awkward for me. The anxiety was high. It was awkward for my family as I made my exit without really explaining exactly where I was going. But people were kind and they knew that I was doing the best that I could. And as I said goodbye, it was with a happy holiday and a few hugs. And as I got in my car, it was such a relief to know I was taking care of myself. And I went to the meetings, I spent time with people that I knew, and I felt grounded. And when I went home that night, I didn't have to drink, I didn't have to drug, and I could sleep well, put my head on the pillow, and realize tomorrow was going to be another day. And I think that's one of the keys that I've learned over the years, is that while the day of a holiday can be very stressful, the day after is coming. Just make it through that day. Sometimes I'm not feeling up for the holidays, even after 33, almost 34 years of recovery. There are days when I really don't feel up for it. Maybe I'm sick, maybe I'm just down, maybe I'm blue. And when I'm going through that, I really have to not only have a plan in place for how to get through the holiday and what to do about it, but I also want to be preparing for that holiday the best I can. Some of the things that have really made a difference in my life in preparing for the holidays as they come up in the days and weeks beforehand is really to make sure that I'm resting, make sure that I'm eating well, make sure that I'm sleeping well, make sure that I'm taking time out for myself. And now one of the big non-negotiables for me is every day I take as much time as I can to meditate, to be in mindfulness practice, and to pray. Marissa Miller wrote a great article in the New York Times that I read recently. And one of the biggest points she made that I loved was that no one's having a perfect holiday. But especially with recovery and especially in the early days, it can be really tense and really terrible. But remembering we're not alone. That's always the most important thing. We're not alone. We're not doing this alone. We don't have to do it alone. And Marissa goes on and speaks about finding your own happiness, making your own comfort zone. I'm drinking my favorite tea out of my favorite teacup right now. And those are the things that make a difference in my life. Maybe for you, it could be reading a book or talking to a friend. For me, it can be taking a nice walk, dressing up in this cool weather and really snuggling up with a hat and a scarf and taking a walk with the dog. All these little things add up to make my own happiness and prepare me for the time that I'm going to spend, sometimes the difficult time with family, and sometimes, hopefully, the wonderful time I can spend with family. And this is the key thing that Marissa focuses on that really, really spoke to me. Find the family that suits you. And to me, that really is important. As an adoptee, as someone who was raised without my biological family, family is really important to me. And I do love my adoptive family. And I do love my wife, and I do love my children, and I love my entire family that's close to me here. But I miss that part of my life that I never knew. And I miss that part of my life that I never had. And some of those pieces are really still missing and will always be missing. But I have to make room for that in my heart. And I have to make room for that in my life. And as difficult as that may be, this is the family that suits me. Sometimes it's the ones that aren't even here. My father died about 9 years ago, and I miss him terribly every year. People say the first year is the worst, a year of firsts. Well, this year is the 9th year, and it still feels like a first in many ways because it's the first 9th year. Next year will be the first 10th year without him. And just as I make sure that I make room for those that aren't with me, that I wish were with me, I can also surround myself and make room for the people in my life that I want to have with me. And those are my wife and my children, my family, and the dear people that are closest to me. But around the holidays, I also want to spend some time with the people that aren't my family, but are the family of choice. Around the holidays and during the holidays, I make sure that I reach out to my sponsor, and he reaches out to me, and I reach out to the folks that I sponsor in the program. I reach out to the people that have been with me through thick and thin, through all this recovery, and it makes a difference in my life because these are my family too. These are the people that mean the most to me, and I mean the most to them. We're there for each other. We choose each other. And I do think in the same way that making this video and being here with you, I'm inviting you to be a part of my family too. A part of my chosen family. A part of the family that makes me happy. And I appreciate you letting me into your world, letting into your holiday a little bit. I hope we can all get through this holiday clean, sober, healthy, and with the family of our choice. There's a lot of struggles that we'll go through. Let's go through them together. There's a lot of things that we can go through together that are going to be hopeful and helpful and joyful. There's a lot to look forward to. So as we jump into this holiday season, let's do it together. If you want, leave some comments below. If you want to find me on Twitter, I'd be glad to engage there and we can have a little dialogue. Either way, please reach out to folks. Please go to meetings. Please reach out to the people that you trust. If you have a sponsor, please use your sponsor. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button right now. Please subscribe. If you are a subscriber, thanks so much for tuning in again. Make sure you click the like button, leave some comments, share this video with others. Thanks again so much for tuning in. Happy holidays to everyone. Take care.